A very good morning, my dear children. I am Gayatri, your science ma'am. In last class, we have discussed about for grade 7 students. So, what we discussed in the last class, did you remember that? Yes, we have discussed about chapter 1, nutrition in plants. So, what we discussed in this chapter, we have discussed about mode of nutrition. So, what is nutrition? The process of obtaining food from the plants and other sources of animals. So, what are the types of nutrition? That is autotrophic and then heterotrophic. So, what is autotrophic? So, all the plants, they are capable of making food by the process of photosynthesis. So, this is called the autotrophic mode of nutrition. And another type is heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So, all the living organisms except plants, they are depending for other animals for food. For example, all the living organisms. So, this is the types of heterotrophic mode of nutrition. The first one is parasitic plants. So, we have discussed about the parasitic plants in the last class. So, what is parasitic? They are suck the nutrients from the other plant by the roots is called the hastoria. So, by the roots it will absorb the nutrients by the host plant and sometimes it will kill the host plant also. So, in this section we are discuss about other mode of nutrition, that is saprophytic plants. So, what is saprophytic plants? So, saprophytic means the plants are usually whitish in color because they are not have a chlorophyll. So, they are not capable of producing own food. So, they are depending for other plants and it will suck the nutrients from the other plants off and also from the bark of the plants. But the flowers are, it is colorful in nature, and this is the saprophytic plants. It will absorb the nutrients from the dead and decaying matter. So, what has happened in this mode of nutrition? They grow in the places with a lot of rotting dead leaves. Already I told it, they are absorb the nutrition from the death and decay matter. And this is the Indian pipe. It is found commonly in Asia and throughout North America. This is the example of saprophytic plants. And another one is carnivorous plants. So, what is carnivorous plants? These plants are absorb the nutrients from the insect. So, carnivorous means the animals are eating a flesh of other animals. This is called the carnivore. Therefore, such plants are also called insectivorous plants. I will show some pictures in this image. These are the insectivorous plants. They are absorb the nutrients from the insect, and some of the common one are called the pitcher plants. So, did you see in this image? This is a pitcher plant, and then Venus flytrap, and then Drosera, that is a sanddew plant, and bladderwort, and finally is a Venus flytrap. So, these are the examples of carnivorous plants. They are getting a nutrients from the insect. And this is a California pitcher plant, is also called a cobra lily. Why we are called this cobra lily? It look like a cobra snake. So, did you see in this picture is a cobra lily? It look like a cobra snake. So, what is in this? What is happened in this pitcher plant? It will secrete a liquid like substance. It will attract the insect, and this plant, it will trap the insect and absorb the nutrients, and the liquid like substance, we are called it the digestive juices in the pitcher plant. So, what has happened in the pitcher plant? It will attract the insect and it get the nutrients, and this is the Venus flytrap. The Venus flytrap also, it will attract the insect by the secretion of liquid jelly like substance, and it will trap the insect and it will digest and absorb the nutrients from the insect. And this is the Venus flytrap picture I will show to you. The Venus flytrap, it is flat in nature. So, the insects are capable of to sitting on the Venus flytrap leaves. And this is another plant, that is a sanddew plant. It will secrete a jelly like substance on the surface of the leaf. So, what has happened in the sanddew plants? It will secrete jelly like substance. It will attract a insect, and finally it will kill the insect and absorb the nutrient. And another one is symbiotic plants. So what is symbiotic plants? It is another mode of heterotrophic nutrition. But in this symbiotic plants, both the plants are getting benefits in this type of nutrition. For example, for this nutrition, lichens for both fungi and then green algae. So lichens are an association between a fungus and a green algae. So this is the picture I will show to you. This is a picture of that is a green patch, that is a green algae, and then fungus also is growing on the bark of the trees, and the fungus is obtain nutrients from the algae. So this algae, it give a nutrients to the fungus because the algae is have a chlorophyll and it make a own food. So it will give a nutrients to the fungus. And how can the fungus is give a benefit to the algae? And the fungal tissue is it provide a shelter for the algae because the fungal is growing very patches in this structure, so it will give a shelter to the algae. So this is the lichen, it will growing on the what is that? That is the rocks of the it will also capable of growing on the rocks. So this is another examples of the saprotrophic nutrition. Sorry, symbiotic nutrition. So symbiotic nutrition is also present on the plants. So what has happened in the plants? By the stomata, it will capable of inhale of carbon dioxide, but it not capable of intake of nitrogen. What has happened in the symbiotic plants? It had a root nodules. In root nodule, that is in this picture, did you see? No, that is a small yellow like round like structure. It is a root nodules. In this root nodules, it had a rhizobium bacteria. So what has happened in this rhizobium bacteria? The rhizobium bacteria, it will absorb the nitrogen from the soil and it will be converted into nitric acid with the help of water, and this nitric acid is absorbed by the root nodules and it pass to all the parts of the plant. So this is the some example I will show to you, that is a gram plant, pea plant, and then moong plant. So this is all the example of symbiotic plants. So what has happened in this symbiotic plant? The rhizobium bacteria, it will give a nitrogen to the plants, and this plants, it will give a nutrients to the rhizobium bacteria. So both organisms getting benefits in this mode of relationship. So this is the example of what is that? That is the symbiotic plants. So let us conclude for this topic. We have discussed about photosynthesis and then autotrophic and then heterotrophic mode of nutrition. And this heterotrophic mode of nutrition, we have discussed about saprophytic, parasitic, symbiotic, and then insectivorous. So insectivorous is otherwise called as carnivorous plants. So this all the subdivisions in there. And this is a question time. I will ask a question for you, and shall I move the first one? Why do organisms need to take food? So why all the organisms need food? The answer is by the growth, tissue repair, reproduction, metabolism, resistance against diseases. So this all the reasons all the living organisms need to take food. Okay. So first one is growth, tissue repair, reproduction, and repair of cells. And next one is how would you test the presence of starch in leaves? So this is the activity we are doing in the last class, that is the iodine test. It will indicate the presence of starch in leaves. That is a blue black color, it will indicate the presence of starch, and there is no blue black color, it will indicate the absence of starch. And to give you a brief description of a process of synthesis of food in green plants. How your green plants are producing a own food by the process of photosynthesis. So what are the requirements for the photosynthesis? That is the chlorophyll, sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water. So this is the equation I will show to you by the, this is the process of photosynthesis. And thank you my dears, and go through these lessons, and next we will meet in the next class.